His Lordship, he even declared that.
It was in 1995 when Uganda adopted what was hailed as one of the most progressive constitutions on the African continent. Now, 3 decades later, civil society organizations say the country has a constitution without constitutionalism. At a dialogue held in Kampala, voices from civic space demanded that government recommit to the founding principles of democracy and the rule of law by reviewing the constitution to close critical gaps that have undermined its full implementation.
It's to revive the spirit of constitutionalism in Uganda. Today has been a reflection of the 30 years of the constitution, what has worked, what has failed, and many Ugandans understand the challenges of the 30 years of the constitution.
A major point of concern is the increasing involvement of the military in the electoral process, which stakeholders say undermines free and fair elections. The keynote speaker, Justice Johan Krieger, the former head of South Africa Independent Electoral Commission, warned that democracy can only thrive when the state institutions remain independent and professional.
It is even more unacceptable for that treatment then to be accompanied by the threat of military involvement in the process.
The event also highlighted the failure of decentralization, noting that despite constitutional promises of devolved governance, local governments remain weak with limited autonomy and resources.
When we proposed the idea of decentralization, there were two or three objectives. Of course, one was to take democracy closer to the people. The second was dispersal of powers so that power is not concentrated in the center. But the main one was another layer of checks and balances.
As worship the Constitution as the foundation of the citizens' freedom, equality, fraternity, and liberty.
Speakers including Justice James Ogola, Professor Frederick Sempebwa, and Maria Matembe, key contributors to the original constitution, pointed out the erosion of checks and balances and the diminishing power of institutions meant to hold the executive accountable. They called for a comprehensive constitutional review to redefine the power of the president and parliament.
We need to review the functions of parliament and strengthen them, because the biggest weakness in the 30 years of the constitution has come from parliament. We also need to revive mechanisms that are stopping the building of a critical mass of citizens that can protect and defend the constitution at all times.
In response, Deputy Speaker Thomas Taiwo acknowledged the challenges in constitutional implementation, but emphasized government achievements in maintaining peace and stability over the last 40 years.
You look at the changes of government that we had between 1962 and 1986. I think we had around nine changes of government, and of those, around 7 were volatile. The most important question to me and the most important achievement of this constitution is that it has given us stability.
Calls for reform come at a time when Uganda is preparing for the 2026 general elections. Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.